Most appearances, most goals.
You did it again.
Good.
It's your job.
It's my job, yes. It's my job, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, I truly hope you've all been having an incredible day, but unfortunately, I have some bad news. I advise you to take a seat for this one. What's that? You're already sitting. Fair enough, stay right there. I'm really sorry to be the one to have to tell you this, but it's only fair that you know the truth. Cristiano Ronaldo is finished. Yes, that's right, we've just received news from this article written back in 2010 that Ronaldo is indeed done. And no, I did not just Google "is Ronaldo finished" to find it for this video. I'm not sure why you would even insinuate that. I mean, stop. Okay, but in all seriousness, for over a decade now, people always seem to write this man off for one reason or another. And it's almost as if each time his response is the same. This isn't a "how good was Ronaldo" video. We all know how good the man is and the career that he's had and continues to have. Besides, I'd be out of breath from literally talking for hours if it were that. This isn't some variation of a rise and fall or a fall and rise type video. And this definitely isn't a Messi vs Ronaldo video, no matter how hard some people try to make every mention of either one of them into that. Yeah, but you see, the thing is, Messi is more complete. Ronaldo just scores tap-ins and panels. Hey man, there's a time and a place. Even Ronaldo himself is sick and tired of the same question.
Is Lionel Messi a better player than you? Always the same, these stupid questions.
Anyway, in today's video, we're gonna have a bit of fun. We're gonna look at 7 times that CR7 was doubted and how he rose above and proved that you should never doubt the great man. So, with that being said, how does Ronaldo continue to prove people wrong? Yo, what is up everyone? Hope you're all doing well and having a lovely day. Cristiano Ronaldo is one of the most prolific players in history. If you're one of those people that's doubted him in the past and has gotten it wrong, like many have, it would be understandable if you chose to flee the country or even go into hiding. Which, coincidentally, brings us to the sponsor of this video, NordVPN. That's right, the channel's first ever sponsor. Now, there is a reason for that. You'll only ever see sponsored posts on this channel for products that I A, believe in, and B, actually use. So when NordVPN reached out, it was a no-brainer. Ever find yourself out and about and stumble upon a Wi-Fi network at an airport or a cafe or some such environment? I swear I do go outside. I know more places than that, I promise. Anyway, if that Wi-Fi connection is not secured, there is a chance that an opportunistic hacker could have their way with your data. We don't want this. This is where NordVPN steps in. NordVPN is a virtual private network that secures your internet through an encrypted VPN tunnel. It can also change your IP address, meaning you're virtually untraceable to malicious individuals through your internet connection. An added benefit of that is that you will now be able to access geo-restricted content on platforms such as YouTube, Netflix, or other social media networks. Ever wanted to have access to Netflix's full range of football and sports-related documentaries in the US, UK, or other countries, which I also know more of, I promise, but were locked out because of the country you live in? Well, NordVPN has you covered. At this point, you may be asking, so it must be pretty difficult to use, right? Not at all. You just open up the NordVPN app, click a server, and poof, secure. Also, NordVPN is compatible on up to 6 devices, has a no-log policy, and a 30-day money-back guarantee. If that sounds good to you, you can get NordVPN on just about any platform for 73% off using the link in the description. That's $3.18 per month, plus an additional 4 months free. Back to Ronaldo, and we're going to start this one off with the early days. Not the very beginning, but certainly before the blistering success. After making the switch to Manchester from Sporting back in 2003, Ronaldo arrived at Old Trafford with nothing but promise and raw talent, with a dash of frustration. Many of the United supporters and fellow players were not convinced of the young Portuguese's abilities. He would often dribble the ball too much. His decision-making in the final third wasn't up to scratch. You get the idea. One such player that wasn't finding much joy with Ronaldo was Ruud van Nistelrooy. For the sake of context, David Beckham and Cristiano Ronaldo departed and arrived at Manchester United in the same window, with both transfers occurring only a month apart. As you can imagine, these two did not constitute a one-for-one swap. Losing Beckham's iconic delivery was understandably a bit of a blow, particularly if he were a striker. Naturally, these two butted heads. Van Nistelrooy even once stated that Ronaldo belonged in a circus rather than a football pitch due to all the tricks he was doing. However, Ronaldo was the future. There was no denying that. He soon grew more and more into himself, turning into an absolute phenomenon shortly after his arrival in England. The early doubters were now the converted. Premier League Player of the Year awards, Ballon d'Ors and trophies galore. The man was unrelenting. Ronaldo may not have belonged in a circus, but he certainly put on a show in the years that followed. The man became a star. Okay, so this next one isn't necessarily a moment when people outright lost faith in Ronaldo, but I felt it was fitting. 2 years Ronaldo's junior, a 21-year-old Messi had been terrorizing defenses for years by 2009. Ronaldo was the reigning Ballon d'Or winner at that point, but Messi was tipped by very many people to be the best in the world at some point. In fact, he was already the best in the world, according to some. In any case, these debates had already been around somewhat, but it was more or less at this point when the incessant Ronaldo vs Messi debate really kicked into gear. Barcelona and Manchester United met in the 2009 Champions League final. Now, these two had already met at club level in the semi-finals of the same competition the previous year, the matchup where Ronaldo was on the winning side. But this time, things were different. The stage was set for what many believed to be the world's best to go toe-to-toe. Messi came out on top. Literally. Ask Rio Ferdinand. Most sensible people knew that Ronaldo was still a top-class player and would continue to be one, but many also felt as though Ronaldo's time at the top may have come and gone. A minor detail, but even though United won the 2008 Champions League a year prior, Ronaldo missed his penalty in the penalty shootout against Chelsea. The fact that, in retrospect, has been swept under the rug somewhat due to United's win. Not by Ronaldo though. According to Ronaldo's cousin, whom he lived with at the time, he went straight to training as soon as they got back in Manchester, despite winning Europe's most coveted club trophy. I guess that's somewhat of a testament to how the man reacts to what he perceives to be a setback. He may have lost a year later in 2009, but judging by how he reacts to winning, God only knows what he puts himself through when he loses. After transferring to Madrid back in 2009 for a world record fee, Ronaldo was expected to set the world alight. Of course, he did, but not straight away. Just 2 months into his Madrid tenure and he was out with a nasty ankle injury. Now comes the doubters, or rather ill wishers. Not sure if anyone else remembers this, but a witch doctor is said to have been hired by a disgruntled ex of Ronaldo's to put a spell on him, a spell that would see him injured indefinitely. The price for getting a hex placed on someone's head? A cool 30,000 euros. Chump change, really. Anyway, the curse was supposed to end Ronaldo's career there and then. However, Ronaldo's mother is said to have hired another witch doctor to fight against the first witch doctor's dark forces. And thus, Ronnie's career was saved. Listen, if you ever hear anybody say I don't only present hard facts on this channel, yeah, fair play, I mean, they're not wrong. Anyway, in his first season, he scored a mere 33 goals in all competitions. Incredible numbers for the vast majority of high-level attackers. Not CR7. He scored 53 the next season and never scored less than 42 over the next 8 years. He may have been bewitched, but it was all of us that he put a spell on. Why did I say that? You're not gonna leave that in, are you? I mean, you're not seriously gonna... Speaking of slow starts, over Ronaldo's Madrid career, it wasn't uncommon for him to have a slow start to the season. For example, the 2015-16 season where he only scored 5 goals in the opening 7 matches of the season. Oh, and all 5 goals were scored in the same match. Poor Espanyol. Anyway, he went on to score 35 goals in 36 appearances that year. Crazy stuff. Coincidentally, in that same season, Ronaldo almost single-handedly dragged Madrid out the mud after they had a slow start in their quarterfinals tie against Wolfsburg in the Champions League. Of course, CR7 has had so many magical Champions League moments where he is seemingly second best at one point, then somehow comes up with the goods down the line. But one of the biggest of those moments came in 2016 for sure. Wolfsburg won the first leg 2-0 and many believed it was a wrap for Madrid. Ronaldo had other ideas. Let's go over the checklist. Tap in, check. Header, check. Free kick goal after everyone claims that you can't score free kicks anymore? Check. 3-2 win on aggregate, eventually taking you through to the Champions League final, which you also win? Check. Never doubt, Mr. Champions League. Let's move over to the national team. Now, Ronaldo has achieved a lot in Portuguese colours. He's won the Euros. Everyone remembers his incredible performance against Spain in the 2018 World Cup. And as recently as September 2021, he became the all-time top goalscorer in the history of men's international football. But in my opinion, it doesn't get much better than his showing in the 2014 World Cup qualifiers. In a nutshell, Portugal failed to qualify for the 2014 World Cup in the regular qualifying campaign. They lost out to Russia in their group by 1 point and were forced to battle it out in the playoffs. Disappointingly, Ronaldo only scored 4 goals during Portugal's 10 qualifying matches. Not too bad, but also not too good. Again, we're gonna have to suspend any notion of normality for this guy. I mean, scoring 30 goals a season is considered poor by his standards. In 2014, he was essentially at his physical peak, so 4 in the World Cup qualifiers up to that point was not impressing very many people. Many began to wonder if the mighty Ronaldo would even feature in the World Cup. Just the thought of him being absent was a little odd, to say the least. Although this turned out to actually be a non-issue. The man scored all 4 of Portugal's goals over the 2 legs of their playoff tie against Sweden and essentially booked Portugal's ticket to the finals by his own sheer brilliance. The second leg of this matchup was insanely good too. Peak Zlatan and peak Ronaldo battling it out for their respective nations at high stakes was a sight to behold. A 3-2 win for the Portuguese where Zlatan scored both for Sweden and Ronaldo scored all 3 for Portugal. As a matter of fact, the Ballon d'Or voting period for 2013 had closed prior to this performance. After this match, FIFA announced that they were extending the voting period. Though this was never confirmed, many believe that this was done purely in light of Ronaldo's performances. He did win it in the end, after all. A little shady, I'm not gonna lie. But who do you think would have won had the voting period not been extended? Comment your thoughts below. Let's go ahead and jump forward a couple years to the 2018-19 season. Ronaldo had shocked the world after making a switch from Real Madrid to Juventus. Somehow, Real Madrid managed to turn a profit in the sale of Ronaldo, which is honestly ridiculous. They bought him from Manchester United for roughly 94 million euros and sold him to Juve for about 100 million euros. How have they done that? Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. Never celebrate too soon. In the 2018-19 Champions League round of 16, Juve were matched up with Atletico Madrid, Ronaldo's former Madrid City rivals. It's fair to say that the Atletico faithful hadn't forgotten him. After Juve lost the first leg by 2-0 at Atletico's home ground, they weren't afraid to let CR7 know that he was old news. Diego Simeone was also pretty chuffed with the victory. Let's put it that way. But how does that famous Gandhi saying go? When Ronaldo was about, you can never celebrate too soon, my guy. Never. The man is on another level, bro. At least, I'm fairly certain that was Gandhi. Anyway, he scored yet another hat-trick in a second leg reverse fixture to seal a remarkable comeback. The guy really was all that. The celebrations were also... yeah, I don't know what to call this one. And finally, we have a fairly recent moment when Cristiano Ronaldo as a player was cast into doubt. However, this one is different from the rest of the entries on this list. The reason being that he wasn't being targeted due to anything he had done on the pitch, rather for what he was potentially about to do. It wasn't due to an injury, a decline in form, or anything of the sort. It also came from a fan base that has pretty much mourned the loss of their guy since that fateful day in 2009. Cristiano Ronaldo is close to joining Manchester City. United fans had been thrown into turmoil. Claims that he was never really that good were starting to pop up, all sorts of hate was being thrown around. Surely not City, Ron. Surely not. As it turned out, there was nothing to be afraid of. Ronaldo rejoined Man United and the sheer volume of Reddit comments and Twitter replies that were deleted was ungodly. The rapid changes in opinion were truly a sight to behold. But this wasn't just from United fans. No. City fans were also left holding the bag, but you really do have to feel for them. Having Aguero leave, signing Grealish and missing out on the chance to sign Messi because he was reportedly re-signing with Barca, then losing out on Kane and Ronaldo all in the same window is tough. But let's be real, even without a striker, they probably have the strongest team in the league. So, I don't feel that bad. Anyway, this is where we stand. As for the future, anything could happen. After a strong start to the season, any doubts that he could hack it in the Prem again at 36 are surely beginning to fade away. Perhaps United could win something now that Ronaldo and a few other notable players have signed, but who knows? Only time will tell. And there we have it. 7 times when Cristiano Ronaldo was called into question. Whether it be due to his playing abilities or his character, one thing that people seem to do time and time again is underestimate this man. Of course, there will come a time when Ronaldo hangs up his boots or simply cannot deliver the goods for one reason or another. But until then, my money's on him. Hope you guys enjoyed this one, really had a blast putting it together. Go out and smash it. Cheers, and I'll catch you in the next one.